Hey friends, it's Alyssa. First off, I want to say thank you to everybody that supported me in my last video on my why for why I am hiking the Appalachian Trail. Not just for the views or the likes or anything like that, but sometimes I'm just laying there sitting at work and highly doubting myself about why I'm choosing to do this extreme long distance hike that a lot of people think you're crazy to do, and it puts a lot of self-doubt in my head. But having support and people who understand the desire to hike the Appalachian Trail really inspires and motivates me to keep on wanting to push myself to hike the Appalachian Trail next year. So I wanted to go outside and get some awesome clips of the snow that we got up here in Minnesota, but I don't know if you can hear, I'm a little bit under the weather. Today I wanted to talk about how I am planning to train for my thru hike. Now, I have never done a thru hike, so take what I say with a grain of salt. There's a lot of different opinions and people with different athletic experiences out there, so everybody has a different picture of what they want their hike to look like. Some people are on one end of the spectrum where they're going super light, pack-wise, and just want to get the trail done as fast as they can, and it's kind of a challenge for them, and that's amazing. And then there's people on the other side of the spectrum that want to take things slow, have never done anything like this before, might be new to anything to do with hiking at all, and so they're going to take their time, maybe not even train for it, and just kind of slowly work their way into training by hiking a few miles each day. And each side of the spectrum is amazing, but I push everybody to do what they feel is comfortable for them. I have always been an athletic person. In high school, I played 3 different sports, and then in college, I did a couple intramurals, but always maintained workouts in the gym, and then even to today, while I work a full-time and a part-time job, I always manage to make it to the gym at least a few times a week. So I guess I wanted to set myself up for success for my thru hike, and I didn't want to go into it not feeling comfortable with hiking. I wanted to set myself up for success being the somewhat athletic person that I am. So I wanted to go into it with some endurance and strength already built up. Let me get into how I am training for my thru hike. One, if you ask anybody out there about how to train for a thru hike, they're gonna tell you to hike. So that's what I'm trying to do. With the Minnesota winters, it's a little bit harder to get outside, especially when it's below zero with a negative 30-degree wind chill. It's not something you want to be doing. Like I said before, I had planned on going outside. I try to do one longer hike a week with a pack outside. Sometimes it's not possible when I'm sick. I'd rather recover and not make myself more sick by going outside. So I opted to stay inside. I also, number 2, I'm cross training. So that's what I do about an hour a day, maybe 4 times a week if I can. After work, I go to the gym and I either walk on the treadmill and then I do some different strength exercises. I think it's important to obviously build up the muscles in your legs and mobility and creating stability in your ankles and your knees, because your legs and your ankles and your knees are going to be put through a lot of work hiking almost 2,000 miles. And then also building up your abs and the strength in your back is also going to help you with carrying a pack as well as your shoulders, in my opinion. So I think the biggest way to build up that strength in your shoulders is to wear a pack. Obviously, when you go out and exercise, I've actually brought my pack to the gym. I assume people think I look ridiculous and I have no idea what I'm doing, but I just keep my blinders on and don't think about anybody else around me and pretend that I'm the only one there, and it's fine, you know? Hopefully I don't get yelled at for doing something ridiculous like that. I think that would be a little bit weird if I were to get yelled at for that, but I'm gonna keep doing it until they tell me otherwise. So I've got number one, the best way to train for a hike is to hike. Number two, cross training, so building up the strength in other muscles so that you have that strength to carry the pack. And then number three, one that I didn't really think about, had a lot of influence on my training, was my job. So I work a desk job about 40 hours a week, and then I work a part-time job serving at a restaurant. And I went on a little, I guess you could call it a shakedown hike this summer, and I didn't know how I would do, so I was gonna give it my best shot. And on the first day we went, I'm not even sure how many miles we went, but my legs were sore, but I could have kept going. And I think a lot of that had to do with my job. Serving at a restaurant, you're on your feet if you're serving on a double shift at a restaurant, you can be on your feet for 8 to 12 plus hours, and it's constant motion. So you're constantly running around the restaurant. The restaurant I work at is pretty large, so it's a lot of walking back and forth all over the place. So if you have a job like nursing or serving or maybe even teaching where you're on your feet for long periods of time, I think it's definitely going to benefit you in the long run. And if you don't have a job like that, I guess it's just gonna take more walking. So obviously this is my experience and what I'm planning to do as far as training for a thru hike. I don't hear a lot of people talking about how to train for a thru hike, and that's because everybody is different. There's no one way to hike a thru hike, and so everybody's got to do it to their own discretion. So this is not me telling somebody how to hike a thru hike. This is how I'm planning to build strength and endurance in myself for my own hike. You do you, friends. If anything I said in this video helps you, that's amazing. Otherwise, good luck, and I look forward to seeing you out there.